What's going on, guys? Back again with another one talking about health, wealth, happiness, success, getting money, getting rich, being great, being your best version of yourself, all that good stuff, right? So yeah, today I wanted to talk about how your mind is the only way you are going to become successful. You must change your mind. You must understand that the mind does not live within the body lives within the mind. You live within your mind, right? Everybody thinks that, your mind is in your brain and your brain is in the body, but no, everything you are, your body, your entire life is within the mind, within your mind. How you view yourself, how you view life, what you eat, the way you live, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in. Is it clean? Is it dirty? Everything is within the mind. And I was reading a few of my books. I have a bunch of books, and I was rereading a couple of them, right? This one right here, we're going to go over a lot today, The Mathematics of the Mind by Nuri Muhammad. And we're also going to touch on a little bit of Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And this is I think this is the biggest video I've ever done on the channel, is reviewing this book. I think it has over 20,000 views. But we're going to jump into a little bit of those books. But you have to understand, when it comes to success, when it comes to living your best life, it is all through the mind. Everything is through the mind. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. I gotta say that again. Life does not happen to you, it happens through you. It happens through the mind. Everything you do on a daily basis is intaking information. Your brain processes it, and then it pushes out how you act. It pushes out how you move. It pushes out how you react. It pushes out your behavior. It pushes out your actions, the actions that you take. One of the best examples of this is, let's just say 3 people go on a hike. And they're all excited to go on the hike. And halfway through the hike, there's a small stream. And the first person hops right over the stream, and they can continue on the hike. The second person comes up to the stream. They try hopping over it. One foot goes in the water, and now they're disgruntled because they're like, oh, my sock is all wet. I didn't know this stream was going to be here. But they keep on going through the hike. And the third person comes to the stream, and they say, I didn't know there was going to be a stream here. I'm not hopping over this. I'm going back. And so after the hike, it's like, hey, how was the hike? The first person says, it was great. It's everything I thought it was going to be. It was great to get out in nature. The second person says, well, I wish they would have warned us about this stream that was going to be in there. I got my shoe all wet and my sock all soaking up, and it was, I completed it, but whatever, man. I just wish they would have told us there was a stream in the middle of it. And the third person says, yeah, highly do not recommend. There was water, there was a stream. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't even finish it. I didn't even complete it. Again, one hike, 3 different viewpoints, 3 different perspectives. Again, this is how all life is. Everything it happens through you. The mathematics of the mind, right? So Nuri Muhammad talks about how to clean up your mind, because your mind is like everything else in this life, right? Or everything else in your body. You have to understand that your body is a machine. It's always trying to clean itself out. And your mind is the same way. If you put the junk down, if you put the distractions down, if you stop watching the news, if you stop playing the video games, if you stop getting in the gossip, if you stop listening to junk music, if you stop eating junk food, your body tries to clean itself out, and your mind will clean itself out. And one of the biggest things in this book, again, that he talks about is how your brain is a receiver and a transmitter. That's all it does all day, every day, 24/7. It can either receive information and it transmits information. And so, the people that run this world, the secret societies, they know this, right? And they don't want you transmitting your life. They don't want you transmitting your thoughts. They don't want you transmitting, trying to be the best version of yourself. What they do is they want you to receive all day. They understand your brain is an antenna, right? And so all day, what is life all day? Is just distractions. Here's sports, here's gambling, here's crap news, here's war, here's destruction, here's fear, here's struggle. And, it's not even just the media or the news, right? It's your parents. Go to school, go to college, go get a degree. Just all you need to do is just get a job. And it's just all like, that's all day. You're just being programmed and plugged in. You're just receiving through this antenna. And then you go out into the world and, you transmit. Or you're not really, you're not transmitting, you're perceiving, right? You're perceiving the world through everything that the people are telling you, right? Your parents, your school teachers, everything. And so, what you need to do is you need to start transmitting. You need to, first of all, you need to understand that your brain is a transmitter and a receiver all day, every day, 24/7. It never stops. So you need to start transmitting your own thoughts into the world, transmitting what you like to do, what you want to do, what's best for you. This world, everything that we have in this world, everything that you see in this world is a thought. Everything from the computer to internet to a cell phone to a car to a boat, a hotel, everything is just a thought. It came from somebody's mind. It came from inside somebody's mind. They thought about that and they transmitted it into the world. And so in order to create this best life for you, you need to be transmitting. But it's hard to transmit if all you're doing all day is receiving, right? So this is why they have everybody just receiving all day. So again, you need to understand that. And when it comes to outwitting the devil, he talks about this, right? And when I first picked up this book, I thought it was kind of like, I read the back of it and it was just like, oh, he wrote this manuscript in 1938 and he held on to it for like 80 years. Like it didn't get released until 2011, right? 2011. And they were like, oh, the information within this manuscript was it was too much for people to handle at the time. And so they didn't want it out. Like his wife told him, don't release it. His publisher told him, we can't release this. And you're like, okay, come on. It can't be that serious. The information inside this book is not that serious. Like, come on now. But, the information that he talks to, you got to think about the time that they lived in 1938. He's talking about having a conversation with the devil. Like, you couldn't talk about that back then. You're having a conversation with the devil. Lock this man up in the loony bin. They still had insane asylums back then with everybody was like strapped up in a rubber room. And, he's talking about having a conversation with the devil. He's talking about how the school system is a scam. He's talking about how the workforce is there to just keep you a slave the entire time. You're never getting unlocked. And it's like, man, like nothing has ever changed. Like this book is a major pickup, right? And I always recommend people to sit down and read books. Everybody's like, oh, I'm not a reader today. You got to become a reader. It doesn't hit the same when you're listening to the audiobook, right? You're listening to the audiobook in your car when you're driving to work or when you're driving home from work. Let's use the example of you're driving home from work. Oh, I have an hour drive home and I like to listen to audiobooks. Well, you're thinking about picking your kid up from school. You're thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner. You're thinking about why is this car swerving into my lane. You're thinking about why did my boss yell at me today. You're thinking about I got to have this report done by tomorrow, whatever. You're not paying attention to the book. And, when you actually sit down and read a book, it actually makes your mind focus on a single subject, right? And you can tap in, you lock in, you're reading the information. Your brain actually has to take the words off of the paper and actually it perceives them in the way that your brain will, right? Your brain will start connecting neurons as you're reading these words, as you're reading these paragraphs, as you're reading these chapters. Your brain is literally firing off neurons and connecting them together like, oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even think about it like that. Oh, man, that's something new. I didn't even, wow, I can't believe he just said that or she just said that. This is all what happens when you read a book. Your mind starts growing. It starts building. It's like working out. It's like going to the gym. So I really recommend reading books. But again, going back to everything in your life is your mind. Your life is your mind turned inside out. It's kind of funny because we've all heard the saying, like, don't judge a book by its cover. But, after you start going down these rabbit holes, you're like, no, you kind of do or can judge a book by its cover, right? You can judge somebody by the way they look, by the way they dress, the kind of car they drive. And it doesn't matter what type of brand car, but, we've all seen somebody driving down the road and their bumpers all flapping in the wind. It's like, can you just go to AutoZone and go buy some $5 zip ties and zip tie that thing up until you can get a new one? Like, why do you just need it flapping in the wind? Do you not care to clean the bottles and the junk off of the dash on your car? It's just like, again, your mind or your entire life is your mind inside out. And so you can look at somebody and tell how they think about the world, how they think about themselves, and how they live. You can look at somebody and be like, I know they live in a dirty house. I know they don't clean up. I know they probably got some nastiness up in there and they haven't changed their sheets in forever. You can look at somebody and just know, like, again, understanding that your mind or your life is your mind inside out. How they live, how they think, how they move, what kind of money they make, just all off of the appearance of somebody, how they move throughout the world. You really can judge a book by the cover. And knowing this, you can now change it, right? You can now change your own life. You can now change yourself. You can clean up your mind. You can sit there and realize, like, okay, all I'm doing is I'm just being programmed. I'm just being plugged in. All I'm doing all day is my antenna is just receiving. And you can change that, right? It first starts by you have to understand and become aware of this. And then, start asking questions, start looking around, start becoming aware of the people who are telling you to do stuff, right? It's like, are my parents living the life I want to live? Are my friends living the life I want to live? Are they doing the things that I want to do? Are the people around me where I want to be and go in life? And again, it's so crazy and it gets me upset, right? Everybody is just trying to just plug you in and just give you all of this receiving stuff, even when it comes to school, right? So many people today are still pushing college, still pushing school. And it's like, these kids are just getting ran over, right? Like, they go to the education office and they're speaking to a financial, or not the financial advisor, but they're speaking to like an education advisor, right? A resource advisor. And, they're like, hey, I'm 18, 19. What should I do? What classes should I take? And then they sit there and they run them through some stupid liberal arts degree. It's like, oh, yeah, go ahead and take out a loan for $60,000 to go get this liberal arts degree that there's no job for on the back end, but it's okay because these jobs don't care. All they care about is that you have a degree at the end of the day. And it's just like, that's BS. And you have grown adults pushing that crap, pushing that garbage, and you still have your parents and stuff that are still pushing, just get a job, just get a 9-to-5 and you'll be all right. And it's just like, no, you won't just be all right with a 9-to-5. Life is a lot more than a 9-to-5. It's just, you have to become aware and you have to realize that you're being programmed at every which way. Everything is a distraction. Everything is just trying to hit your brain, which is, what am I trying to say? It's like an antenna, you're right? Your brain is an antenna and everything is just receiving and receiving just garbage from everything. And, the world knows this. The secret societies know this. This is why they have to keep you plugged in, because as soon as you start transmitting is the minute you start living your best life, is the minute all the ideas start coming to you about what you would like to do in life, where you would like to go in life, how you would like to live life. And so it's done on purpose, right? We have sports all year round. And, even think about it when it comes to music, right? The artist doesn't choose when an album drops. The label chooses when an album drops. And so when do they choose when the album drops? Oh, is it between championships? Is it between the basketball season and the baseball season or the football season? That's when is the best time to drop a new album. And so we can keep the masses always just receiving sports. Okay, sports is over, receive an album. Okay, the album is over, receive the news or receive bad stuff or receive Grand Theft Auto 6. And you never once just stop receiving, cut everything out, and so you can start transmitting your thoughts into the world. And when you start transmitting what you would like to do, where you would like to go, how you would like to live, that's when you start living. That's when you stop being plugged in. That's when, that's when life becomes great. That's when you can start to become successful in life, no matter what that means to you, right? If you want to, make a lot of money or make $1 million or become a millionaire or whatever that looks like to you, you have to stop receiving all the crap that is trying to get forced into, onto your antenna, and you need to start transmitting. Right? Because there's people out there right now that are living the best lives ever. They're doing whatever they want. Everybody was just booing Conor McGregor. He just made $16 million in 70 seconds. Who cares, right? He's living his best life. There are people that are just traveling around the world, doing just living their best lives, working out. They're in great shape. And, the masses are just constantly being received. Their antennas are just plugged into the matrix, and they're living a terrible life. They're always stressed out. They're always depressed. They always have anxiety. They're always overweight and complaining and being a victim. And, even when it comes to being a victim, right, it's just everybody, even on the news, everything is not your fault. The reason your life sucks is because of this. It's because of that. It's because of those people. It's because of that opposite political group. It's just, everything is just designed to keep you plugged in and to keep you receiving crap. And until you unplug, until you realize this, until you shut off the world trying to hit your antenna with receiving information, that is when you start transmitting your own thoughts, transmitting your own life, transmitting what your perfect life looks like to you, where you want to go, where you want to be, the type of money you want to make, right? God, there's people out there making $1 million a month. It's freaking retarded. It's ridiculous, the amount of money. And they print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars every year. They have to. That's how the system continues to grow. We live in this debt-based society. They have to keep printing. And the masses of people just believe that money is limited, or they can't make that much money, or they can't do what they want, and they're always struggling, and they can never just get ahead. And that's because the information that you're receiving from the world keeps telling you that you can only limit yourself to this type of job or this type of lifestyle. And oh man, but yeah, man, again, like I said, going back to this book, you need to understand that your mind is an antenna, and it receives and transmits daily. And you can clean your mind up. You can clean it out with all of the junk. Your body just tries to clean itself out 24/7, right? You go out, you drink some alcohol, the next day, your body just starts to clean it out, right? Your liver tries to clean out all those toxins and those poisons. Your mind does the same thing. Put down the phone, put down the social media scrolling, put down just the garbage, all of the celebrities, and they're doing all these podcasts and stuff like that, and they're just feeding you junk and garbage, and then then halfway through the podcast, they're like, oh, hey, here's my new tequila. Here's my new cognac. It's just distractions and poison, and you got to cut it out. You got to cut it all out. And so your mind can heal itself, so it can clean itself out. And so then you can start transmitting. And that's the thing, like most people, they run around this world and they're like, okay, I hear you, right? People are out there making $1 million a month, but I don't know how to do that. I don't even know where to start. Well, it starts with you cleaning up your mind, cleaning out the toxins in your brain, cleaning out the junk, get rid of the distractions. And so your mind can free itself up to be like, okay, this is what I would like to do. This is how I would like to transmit my best world. This is how I would like to transmit my best life. And, and your brain, you'll start thinking about ways to do that, right? So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one there. Go ahead and hit a like and subscribe if you're still here, man. And we're gonna keep these things going. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.